Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's story. Tuna's fragile peace is shattered when her former mother-in-law arrives at the farm, demanding money and cruelly taking away her puppy. Though heartbroken, Tuna refuses to bow down. That evening, Johnny reveals the truth about the DNA test, that he and Tuna are not siblings, and pleads for forgiveness. Choosing compassion, Tuna lets go of past anger. Alex, deeply moved, finally confesses his love and offers her a ring. Afraid yet hopeful, Tuna doesn't accept. But for the first time, she dares to dream of a future not defined by pain. Stay with us until the end to see how she finds the courage to face both sorrow and hope. And if you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and help us reach 500 followers. Your support means so much. Beneath the pale dawn, Tuna stood at the edge of the farm, her hands tightening around the hose handle, eyes shimmering like a lake touched by the first light of morning. She inhaled deeply, the scent of wet soil rising with the mist, filling her lungs with both freshness and old pain. "I won't leave again," she whispered, almost as if promising the land itself. The breeze rustled the tall trees, carrying her vow away like a secret sealed between her and the earth. The day before, her life had unexpectedly shifted when Alex's sister had gifted her a puppy, a small creature with soft fur and curious eyes. The little dog had instantly brightened Tuna's home, bounding clumsily around the garden, bringing laughter to her child, and filling the silence of the farm with joy. For the first time in months, the house didn't feel empty. When the puppy licked her child's cheek, the child giggled so freely that even Tuna's heavy heart seemed to lift. Now, as the early sun brushed the horizon, she thought about the puppy sleeping by the door, curled into a warm ball of life. It had been a simple gift, but to her, it felt like a bridge, a chance to heal the old rift between her and Alex's family. Her heart, though scarred, carried a flicker of hope. With renewed strength, Tuna stepped into the vegetable garden. Weeds sprawled like stubborn reminders of her past mistakes, but each swing of the hoe was an attempt to uproot not only the plants, but also her regrets. Sweat dripped down her brow, the sting of salt mixing with the smell of earth. She pressed on, reminding herself that this farm was more than a livelihood. It was a promise to her child, a place where redemption might bloom. Her child still slept inside, breathing softly, a steady rhythm that reminded her of hope itself. The puppy occasionally stirred, wagging its tail in a dream, adding to the peaceful scene. Tuna smiled faintly, though beneath that smile was the weight of everything she carried. The guilt, the debts, the scars left by choices and circumstances she could never fully erase. "I must make amends," she murmured, and her voice trembled like a fragile leaf in the wind. The sun climbed higher, and Tuna knelt near the chicken coop, patching the rotten wooden slats. The puppy barked playfully nearby, chasing after a fluttering butterfly. The sound made her pause, her heart softening as she watched it tumble through the grass. Life felt fragile, fleeting, but in moments like this, it also felt worth protecting. Her thoughts wandered to the nun who had once cared for her, and a pang of longing tightened her chest. "She must be so sad," Tuna whispered. Memories of her wandering days pressed in. Cold nights, uncertain meals, the loneliness of a heart searching for home. The emptiness within her still echoed, like barren soil craving rain. She gathered a bundle of greens for the pigs and trudged slowly toward the house, her mind caught between the past and the present. Inside, the child shifted in sleep, the faintest smile gracing their face. That smile was her anchor, the light guiding her through storms she could never have braved alone. But peace rarely lasted long. By late morning, the sound of footsteps echoed down the dirt path. Tuna's heart sank as she recognized the voice, sharp, grating, and unwelcome. It was her former mother-in-law, a woman whose presence always carried tension. The older woman stepped into the yard, her eyes narrowing as they landed on Tuna. "So, you've found yourself a wealthy friend now, haven't you?" she sneered. "Alex, the rich man. Do you think people like me don't hear rumors?" Tuna stiffened, clutching the basket tighter. "It's not like that," she replied calmly, her tone steady but her pulse racing. The woman scoffed, folding her arms. "Don't play innocent. If you're close to someone like Alex, then you must have money. I've come for what's owed. You will give me a share." Tuna's stomach knotted, her breath caught in her throat. "I don't owe you anything," she said firmly. "And I won't give you money just because you think I have some." The woman's eyes blazed. "Ungrateful girl. After everything, you dare refuse me?" Her voice rose, shrill with anger. The puppy barked, sensing the tension. It bounded toward Tuna, placing itself protectively at her feet. The woman's gaze darted downward, and something cruel flickered in her eyes. Before Tuna could react, the woman snatched up a heavy stick from the yard. "No!" Tuna cried, lunging forward, but she was too late. With one vicious strike, the woman brought the stick down. The puppy yelped, the sound sharp and heart-wrenching, before collapsing onto the ground. Time seemed to freeze. Tuna's heart cracked open, her hands trembling as she dropped to her knees beside the small, lifeless body. Tears blurred her vision, spilling hot and fast down her cheeks. The child, awakened by the noise, began to cry from inside the house, their wails joining the storm that raged in Tuna's chest. "How could you?" Tuna's voice broke, torn between fury and grief. "It was just a puppy, a gift of kindness. It harmed no one." The woman stood there, her expression cold, almost satisfied. "Maybe next time you'll understand what happens when you defy me," she spat, before turning and walking away without a shred of remorse. Tuna clutched the still body of the puppy, her sobs shaking her shoulders. The garden that once felt like a sanctuary now seemed to close in around her, suffocating in its silence. Her child stumbled outside, rubbing their eyes, confusion etched on their small face. "Mama," the child whispered, and the sight of innocence meeting cruelty cut deeper than any blade. She pulled her child into her arms, pressing their head against her chest. "It's okay," she whispered through tears, though every part of her knew it wasn't. The weight of loss pressed down on her, heavy and merciless. But even as grief threatened to break her, another fire began to burn, a fire of defiance, of resolve. Tuna laid the puppy gently beneath a tree, covering it with earth, her tears falling onto the soil. "You deserved so much better," she whispered, her voice raw. The child clung to her side, silent now, sensing the gravity of the moment. When the last mound of dirt was patted down, Tuna sat back, wiping her face with dirt-streaked hands. The breeze stirred again, rustling the leaves as if the land itself grieved with her. She stared at the sky, her eyes red but burning with determination. "I will not be broken," she murmured. "Not by her, not by the past, not by anyone." As the sun dipped toward afternoon, Tuna returned to her chores. Though her steps were heavier, her body weary from both labor and loss. Yet inside, something had shifted. The cruelty she endured had carved a new resolve, one that would not allow her to bend again. The farm stretched wide before her, a canvas of labor and redemption. And though the day had stolen something precious, she knew it had also planted a new seed within her. A seed of strength, fierce and unyielding. And in that moment, beneath the weight of grief, Tuna silently promised her child, her land, and even herself, no matter how dark the storms, she would endure. The sun dipped low, spilling gold across the farm as the day bled into evening. Tuna sat outside, her body weary, her heart heavier still. The soil beneath the tree marked the puppy's resting place, and though grief gnawed at her, she refused to let despair consume her. Her child played quietly nearby, stacking pebbles into tiny towers, their innocent giggles reminding her that life, no matter how cruel, still carried moments worth holding on to. As shadows stretched longer across the fields, the sound of footsteps echoed again. This time, they weren't harsh or unwelcome. Alex arrived, his presence steady, almost hesitant, as if unsure whether he had the right to stand in her yard. Behind him walked Johnny, his expression troubled, a storm swirling behind his downcast eyes. Tuna rose slowly, wiping her dirt-stained hands on her skirt. "What brings you here?" she asked, her voice neutral, though her chest tightened at the sight of them both together. Alex glanced at Johnny, giving him a slight nod. Johnny took a step forward, his head bowed, his hands trembling at his sides. "Tuna," he began, his voice thick. "There's something I should have told you long ago." Her breath caught. His tone carried weight, the kind that only truth could bear. She remained silent, waiting. Johnny's gaze lifted, his eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "The DNA test. It proved that we're not siblings. I should have been honest, but I was afraid. Afraid of what it would mean. Afraid of hurting my mother." His words tumbled out in a rush, like a dam breaking. Tuna's eyes widened, her heart lurching, memories flooded back. The day she discovered the truth, the pain that drove her to leave, the endless nights of questioning her worth. But instead of anger, what filled her now was sorrow, deep and quiet. "I don't blame you," she whispered. Her voice was steady, but it trembled at the edges like a fragile thread in the wind. "The past hurt, yes, but I choose to let it go. I can't carry that weight forever." Johnny's lips quivered as relief mingled with regret. He dropped his gaze again, ashamed. "Please, don't tell my mother. She wouldn't bear it. For her sake, I beg you." Tuna nodded slowly. "I won't," she promised, though her hands clenched into fists at her sides. She wasn't protecting him. She was protecting her own fragile peace. Alex had been quiet until now, his eyes fixed on Tuna. He had seen her strength, her grief, her resilience in the face of cruelty, and each moment only deepened his admiration for her. Stepping forward, His voice was soft but steady. Tuna, you've endured so much. You've carried burdens no one should bear alone. Her eyes met his, and for a fleeting second, the world fell away. The farm, the past, even Johnny. It was just them, standing in the twilight, bound by unspoken understanding. Johnny looked between them, his chest heavy, then turned and stepped back, giving them space. He knew some things couldn't be undone, and perhaps some bonds weren't meant for him. Tuna lowered herself onto an old wooden chair, the weight of the day pressing down. Alex sat across from her, his hands fidgeting, his gaze searching hers. The air between them thrummed with tension, unspoken words pressing at the edges of silence. "Tuna," Alex began, his voice low, almost reverent. "I need to tell you something." He hesitated, his heart pounding, before forcing himself forward. "You're not just someone I care about because of the farm or because of our shared past. You're the light that's carried me through my darkest times. And I can't hold it in anymore." Her lips parted, but no sound came. Her heart raced, her breath caught in her throat. She had imagined moments like this, but reality felt heavier, scarier. "I went to the jewelry store today," Alex continued, pulling a small bag from his pocket. His fingers trembled as he revealed a delicate ring, its surface glinting faintly in the dim light. "I don't know if this is too soon or if you're ready, but I had to try, because tomorrow isn't promised, and I can't go another day without you knowing how I feel." The ring sat in his palm, a fragile symbol of hope and love, trembling with his heartbeat. Tuna's eyes welled with tears. She looked at the ring, then at Alex, the man who had stood by her through storms, who had offered kindness when the world seemed bent on cruelty. Her chest tightened with fear, but also with something new, possibility. "Alex!" Her voice broke, soft and uncertain. "I don't know if I'm ready. My life, it's been so broken. Today, I lost something precious again. I'm scared to open my heart, only to watch it shatter once more." Alex leaned closer, his eyes unwavering. "I don't ask for perfection. I don't ask you to forget your pain. I only ask for a chance to walk with you through it, to carry some of the weight, to build something new together." The silence stretched, filled with the chorus of crickets and the whisper of the evening breeze. Tuna glanced at her child, who had fallen asleep nearby, their head resting against the porch railing. Her gaze softened, her heart twisting with love and fear all at once. She looked back at Alex, her eyes shimmering. "You've given me reasons to hope again," she admitted. "But hope terrifies me, because every time I've dared to believe, life has taken something away." Alex's hand trembled, but he reached out, gently covering hers. "Then let me be the one who doesn't leave, the one who doesn't take away, but stays. Whatever storms come, I'll be here." Tears spilled down her cheeks, silent and raw. She closed her eyes, letting the words wash over her, letting herself believe, just for a moment, that maybe she deserved this. She didn't take the ring, not yet. But she didn't push it away either. Instead, she held Alex's gaze, allowing him to see the storm and the fragile hope battling within her. "I can't promise tomorrow," she whispered, her voice shaking. "But tonight, I can promise that I see you, and I'm grateful." Alex's eyes softened, his lips curving into the faintest smile. He slipped the ring back into the bag, not as rejection, but as a promise left waiting. He knew she needed time, and he was willing to wait. The three of them, Tuna, Alex, and Johnny, sat in the twilight, the weight of truth and the sting of loss lingering in the air. Yet, beneath it all, hope pulsed faintly, like a fragile flame refusing to die. The farm lay quiet around them, its fields stretching endlessly into the dusk. The scars of the past remained, but so did the promise of something new. For Tuna, the road ahead would never be easy. But for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel entirely alone. She had her child, her strength, and perhaps, if she dared to let him in, she had Alex too. The night settled gently over the land, the stars blinking awake one by one, as if bearing silent witness to the fragile beginnings of a future not yet written. Tuna's fragile peace was shattered when her former mother-in-law arrived at the farm, demanding money after discovering Tuna's connection to Alex. When Tuna refused, the woman cruelly killed her puppy, leaving Tuna devastated, but more determined than ever to stand strong. That evening, Alex and Johnny came to visit. Johnny revealed the painful truth about the DNA test, that he and Tuna were not siblings, and begged for her forgiveness. Though deeply wounded by the past, Tuna chose to let go of anger, showing compassion instead. Alex, moved by her strength and resilience, confessed his true feelings. He offered her a ring, a symbol of love and a new beginning. Tuna, torn between fear and hope, could not accept yet, but for the first time, she allowed herself to dream of a future not defined by pain.